discussing, proposal writing, and and also analyze steps that will help you write proposals that will convert into interviews and jobs on Upwork. All right. Um. Now, what is a proposal? So a proposal is basically, a plan. Is from the word proposed. You are trying to show the clients what you can do or the plans you have towards helping him or her fulfill his or her project, basically. So it's that simple. And one of the reasons why you must learn how to write proposals on Upwork is that proposal writing is an integral part of getting jobs on Upwork. All right, it's something that as a freelancer on Upwork, you would get to write proposals as long as you want to keep getting jobs. All right. So it's not something you want to hurriedly learn. Something you should take your time, practice, and understand the reason for all the steps I've outlined in this video. So please pay attention and be very attentive. Just pay attention. Yes, that's the point I'm driving out. Driving out. So now, all right, I've defined proposal in some other ways. Is a chance to submit your application to convince a client that you are the perfect fit for the job. All right, it's rare for you to see a job that it will be only you that will apply for it on Upwork. You'd have a minimum of five. Some jobs can have up to 50 people, more than 50 people, 50 plus people applying for a job. So a proposal is you telling the client that okay, you are the perfect fit for the job, you are the right man for the job. All right, it's more of like the plan showing the clients how you can, execute his or her job very well. And this third point is another very, very important point. This point, all right, the proposal is about the client's job, not necessarily about you. Yes, the client on Upwork is not coming to meet freelancers. No, he's coming on Upwork to get his or her problem solved. All right, if his problem is oh he needs a website, all right, so he's coming on Upwork to get a website. All right, then you as an expertise in that field now is trying to get somebody that has knowledge of how to create websites. So the end product of a client putting out a job on Upwork is to get someone to do his or her project. So when writing proposal, the focus should be about the client's work and how you would help the client perfectly execute it rather than uh, only your experience. All right, there are other slick ways you can put your experience into play while writing proposals. I just want to make these points clear. All right, and the next subheading is how important is proposal on Upwork. Proposals on Upwork, very, very important. Is key. It's one very stronghold on Upwork because firstly, proposal is a competition. I've said it earlier in one of the earlier points. You are submitting proposals alongside a whole lot of freelancers. The minimum you can get, I said, is five, and the maximum is way more than 50. Can be 100 people applying for a job, all right? It shouldn't scare you, but it should hit you with the reality that it's a competition. You can't just write something shabby and expect to be, employed or given a job, right? The second point is, you are spending money per proposal, all right? Every proposal you send would require connect, and you would need to buy this connect with money, all right? So yeah, more or less applying for or sending each proposal with money. All right, it's more like you're spending money per proposal, and it's one of the reasons why you must get it right so that and at every proposal you send, you are sending it with a very high probability of getting a response from the client. All right, the next and the last point in this subheading is you are one proposal away from a long-term client, and this is very true. For every proposal you send or every good proposal you send, you are just a proposal away from that long-term client that can change your life and just employ you permanently. All right, and the purpose of proposals on Upwork, right, is to get you the job. All right, so if you sending proposals have not gotten you jobs, you should know that oh you are doing something wrong. You know, it can also be a problem with your profile, your samples. All right, but the first meeting point between you and a prospective client would be your proposal. All right. So the goal of every proposal is to get you job, or at least get you and the client to be in contact, or get the client to contact you or message you and proceed to what they call an interview. Like the last point, this will lead me to that one. Or the purpose of Upwork, purpose of proposal on Upwork is to at least secure you an interview with the client. And if your proposals are not doing any of these two, then you are getting proposal writing wrong, I would say. Yes. All right. So I've listed out a couple of steps that you can use to write better and converting proposals. There are six in number, and we'll go through all of them, and we would also use them when we're applying for jobs. All right. So just follow through. All right. The step one is read the job post very well. All right. Don't apply for jobs to make sure you can do the job. There's no need applying for jobs you cannot do. So that's one of the reasons why you must read the job post very well and be sure it's something you can do. Second reason why you should read the job post very, very well is you know sometimes the clients put in details, you know can ask you that, oh, answer this question. Can find in between his job description, the client can fix in a question like, oh, what is your favorite color? Put this put this in the first sentence, so I would know you read through the proposal, the job description rather. So now that gives you an idea of, if you did not take your time to read through the job description, you would miss that point. And once the client doesn't see that at the beginning of your proposal, the clients will just disregard your proposal, irrespective of how long it took you to craft that proposal, or whether you can even perfectly execute the job. If you start missing details and questions that the client wants you to answer in just the job description alone, it shows you how you know the freelancer does not pay attention to detail, and a lot of clients would not want to work with that kind of person. So that is one of the reasons why we must read through the job details. Let's go on Upwork and see cases where a client is putting some details that you need to answer, or phrases you need to indicate on Upwork. Let's go on Upwork. Let's go to find jobs, and glance through jobs and see. There will be an examples of jobs like that. Once we see one, we are fine. We can move on. To show you how to make sure you perfectly understand this course. You know. All right. Let's read through this. All right. So see something like this. All right. This is even the first job we are seeing. The person says, we are an online media company based in UK and Canada. Okay, there is nothing serious here. All right. So the person is asking this question. Can you see this way where this question is? Two. Can you Best say to apply, you need to, one, check this link. Two, can you write articles like this? If so, answer this question. What's the first sentence of the final paragraph in the article? Note, if you don't answer these questions, you would not be considered. Thanks. So it's something like this now. And yeah, you are even lucky because the entire job description is within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's within 6 lines, so you can easily see the questions you have been asked. There are cases where the job description will be much. I want to show you that kind of case. This something I'm looking for, something that is really more much that this is not something that is really much. All right. I'll show you that example that it's so easy to you know miss something like that because all right, let's check through first jobs and see most recent. So you have to go through the job description properly to make sure that, oh, this job you're applying for, it. Secondly, details. Sometimes people can tell you, put the in between the job description, they might put let's say Emmanuel inside the job description, just in the middle of it, and tell you that quote this at the beginning of a proposal, so I know you read through the job description. And if you fail to do so, you might just end up wasting your connect applying for jobs. Gonna be this small. We are not getting to see that those kind of jobs, all right? But they are very common, and that is one of the reasons you would get to see them when you start applying for jobs. All right. Don't let me waste too much of your time. So let's go to step two. Step two, you greet the clients and quickly reinstate their problem. All right, you greet the client and quickly reinstate their problem. So now we are going into writing the proposals. So what you do initially is, you give a salutation. You don't need to use sir, ma. You don't want to make it seem too formal. All right. So what you can do is hello their name or hi their name, and I will teach you how you can find the names of the client so you can at least sound personal. All right. This is you can see you can find the client's name in their job history or review. So let's check. Let's check the job. Let's check one of these jobs. Okay, this person has payment verified. Let's check this job. All right. Scroll down. All right. So now this is the client's recent history. We went through this in a couple of videos ago when I was telling you, how to check through a client's history. So yes, look at this. This first review is from what the client to the freelancer, and second review is usually from is from the first review is from the freelancer to the client, while the second review is client to freelancer. All right. So from the freelancer to the client, you see Yash is Yash was a great client, was very clear and specific with what he wanted, responsive and reasonable with deadlines, expectations. So you can have a feeling that the name of the client is what? Yash. Yash. All right, let's scroll down to confirm. Yeah, you kind of find also that I think there are multiple people running the client's accounts. All right, this is Justin Powell. This is Justin Powell. Right, right. Let me see. So a great customer, always nice working with Nyash. So from this, and you see here, this is Justin. So from this account, you can get a whole like this account is is not a personal, it's between Nyash and Justin, Justice or Justin, yes. They both want the same client accounts, all right? But in a case where it's only one client account to see consistently, let's say you get to see Yash accounts, like it's the only client name you get to see consistently. You can start your proposal with something like, "Hi, Yash. Uh, this Yash is making it sound somehow, but you get what I'm trying to say. Yash. You can mention the name in the proposal, the client's name, comma, then you can go to the next line. And the next line is, greet the client and quickly reinstate their problems. All right. And why do we quickly reinstate their problem? And this is simple because, from a client account, when you send proposals, the client don't get to see all your proposals at once. They only get to see, a bit of your profile and two lines, the first two lines of your proposal. So that's the more reason why in those two lines, first two lines of your proposal, you need to quickly, state the client's problem and and just say maybe you want to help. You can say something like, let's go back and see one of these jobs. All right. Now the job title of this is looking for someone who can make pics like this link below AI. Using AI, link below using AI. You can say, oh, hi Yash, comma, you know, I can help you make pictures like hi Inyash, I've gone through the link you provided and I can help you make a picture like this using AI. Alright, that should be your first two lines you put in. And the reason for that is the client is having, let's say, 50 proposals to go through, or 10 or 20 or whatever the case may be. Alright. And it's just going through the first two lines of everybody because that's the way your proposal is arranged, right? So anybody that fails to address the client's personal will be an advantage. Next to going directly at the problem and how you can directly help as fast as possible. Right? You captivate the client as someone that understands the job, and the client wants to, click further and read the entire proposal. So that's why you just keep sending proposals, and clients won't even read, because your first two lines don't directly address the client and go straight to the problems that they have. Right? I hope you are understanding my points and the reasons why you should go straight to telling the client, reinstating the problem of the client. You are trying to captivate the client, uh, captivate the client immediately. Yes, that's the word. So the step three, you briefly explain why you are the perfect fit for this job. All right. So why? For this job, the client needs someone who can, example, we can start working right away. I'm looking for someone who can make pictures like this using AI. So you go straight to telling the client that, oh, I've worked on this, that is very similar to your work, all right, and I can help you use this particular AI to create this picture, all right. I've I've done this a couple of times, and and this and that. All right. So in that particular paragraph, you're just trying to sell yourself to the client or sell your services to the client now. You can find a way to chip in your experiences, but don't make it seem about your experience, but rather how you want to help the client achieve what they want to do. All right, so you can tell the person, I can use this software to do it. All right, I can be done under 15 minutes. All right, I think this software is perfect for this. All right, I can even do it way better than what is provided in the link below. All right, I'm using this job as a case study, so you'd understand how to send a proposal to something like this. Then the next point is, step four. You briefly list the steps or that you want to take on the project if given, and a few suggestions. So in this step four, you are telling the client that, oh, let's go back to the job. Oh, you can say something like, Yash, I've outlined a couple of steps that I can use to, do make the pictures. Firstly, you send the original picture. Secondly, I activate so account. I already have an account with this particular AI. Now put in your picture, edit it, and make sure it appears nice. Then third step is maybe I send it to you for your feedback and see where you would want me to change this. And four, once it's completed, we can be done with the project and up on more projects if you'd want me to. So you are trying to talk as if you've gotten the job already, and this is how you can do the job. This is how you can do the job. You can also chip in suggestions. I outlined that already. You can put in a few suggestions if you feel, now, if you feel, normally, this is the AI for this job. You can say something like, you can chip in some a few suggestions like, normally for this job, it would every other person will recommend using, let's say ChatGPT, but I prefer us using this particular AI because of this, and it will be a lot better than the norm. All right, but that will be only if you permit me to use them. So you are trying to that suggestion is trying to give the client an impression that, you see, you are genuinely interested in the work, all right, beyond the pay or what not. For you to start bringing in new solutions to problems shows that you're at least passionate about the job. Then step five, all right, is to provide samples that you have, that shows that provide samples that you can perform the task successfully. You understand? This is the first time you and the client are probably going to work. So the client is, his mind is fresh. He hasn't seen something you have done. So you have to convince the client that, oh, I've done this, I've done that, that is very similar to your work. You can check it below. And this kind of job, you can attach a few AI pictures you've done, so the client can have an idea of, okay, this person has done something similar. And that was why I talked on samples much earlier, in like two modules ago. That's module three. I thought about get samples for different niche. Now, this proposal template, this proposal writing, or steps I'm giving can work for any niche. That's why I'm trying to use something entirely different from even writing to to open your minds to how a good proposal should be. Right. So the step, I've said this step, you can provide samples whether you want to attach the samples as documents, as pictures, as Google Drive, for the client to see that you have handled something very similar to what the client wants. All right. Then the next step, then the next step is the last step, usually the step 6. And I'd always prefer you round off your proposal with a closer, or a call to action, a CTA that that would make the client want to respond to you. Like a lot of people are drawn to questions and the likes. So you can ask relevant questions. You can say something like, for a long time, let's say for a content writer, for instance, you can say something like this: someone wants you to write content, and your killer call to action is this. For a long time, I've always admired what the people at www. Let's say pulseng.com are doing in your niche. Is this the kind of content you want me to create, or is this the kind of content you're looking to create? Or you prefer content from www.ninjaloaded.com, for instance? Which of them are more in line with your goals or your objectives for these articles? All right. And the two websites you are putting should be something related to the work, obviously. Now that puts the client in a situation where the client has to answer you. I don't know whether you're getting the point. But now the client feels like, oh, you are really interested in my work, that you are comparing the works to great examples and asking me which of them do I feel the work should be like. Now the client would want to answer that definitely. Irrespective of the niche you are, you can ask the client, who are your closest competitors? You you can ask, do you have questions for me? What do you expect from me day to day when I start handling this project? Are there any like standard operation that you follow for this project? You can ask very intelligent questions that that you are very sure, you are convinced that when the client gets to read your proposal, the client wants to respond to you because you seem very, very interested in the work. All right. You can ask what the deadline for the project is. You can ask the client, you can also tell the client you are very okay. I will say that in the next video when I give you like additional steps that can also help you. Let me just keep that point to the next video. All right. So that is that, and you can also chip in the fact that you are available for a call. I mentioned that in while creating your profile description. Tell the client that you're available for a Zoom call, a video Zoom call, so you guys can discuss more about the project. And the reason for putting a video Zoom call is the fact that you know a video Zoom call introduce trust, makes the client feels like, oh, you're a genuine person, and that's one thing with video conversations. It's more likely to close on a job, get the client to give you an offer because the client feels like you are genuine. All right. So that is that for this video. In the next video, we'll discuss more steps on how to write good proposals. More steps beyond just these 6. There are other steps that just few points where you can adjust proposals, add this. You can always add this and that. So let's we'll see in the next video. All right.